Sleeves here with the Senior Pickleball Report powered by TNC Network. Let's get it going. All right, folks. Today on our People of Pickleball episode, we are speaking with Brad Robbins, the man behind Kitchen Blockers, great new eyewear protection. And we talk all things pickleball and eyewear. But before we get to that, if you like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out all the links in the description for discounts. Also, check out our newsletter, our new website, and our merch page. All right, let's get to that conversation with Brad Bamps Robbins.
All right. Hey, Bamps, welcome to the Senior Pickleball Report, man. It's good to see you.
Hey, Sleeves, great to see you as well.
We're both styling, obviously, the blockers, which we will get to. And the hottest item, I would argue, in pickleball at the moment is eye protection. And you are leading the forefront of something that is very simple but very effective. But before we get to that, let's find out a little bit how you sort of got into this crazy wiffle ball sport that we're all, addicted to.
Well, it is an amazing and an all-consuming sport, and just having a blast in the senior part of our lives. So just about to turn 65. I'm a closet entrepreneur. Was originally in the advertising business. Fortunate enough to be part of the team to launch Apple Computer. So that's how old I am from an advertising perspective. And then as well as a social network called Facebook, which is probably where most of our followers are. Um, Unfortunately, in terms of being irreverent and different in the marketing space and advertising, big business and American companies started to acquire creative assets, and I sold to a multinational and realized, hey, I couldn't really make a difference in that area, and I would have been a crazy sports dad, and in those days, quite honestly, a crazy hockey dad. And
Okay.
lo and behold, I had five daughters. And in those days, girls didn't really play hockey, nor necessarily would I have been a girls hockey dad. And I went and I bought myself a junior hockey team. And with the five daughters, at least I could send the 20 cents home at any time. And and it really entered me into the sports world, and I started to get involved in how I could make a difference and help athletes express themselves and really provide advice post competition. So I
Okay.
never comment on an athlete about, hey, your forehand or your dink or a hockey player, here's how you missed a shift. It's how do you want to make a difference? How do you want to make a societal difference? How do you want to make a difference in the digital space? And what's important to you? And if they're not saying first and foremost being important to you is doing good better because they have a platform and a forum to do some charitable initiative, I wouldn't be interested. So that's the cost of entry. And then the next thing is you need to be authentic. And unfortunately, in today's sports world and in today's world, not that many people are authentic. So
I would
uh,
agree.
we weeded out who the authentic ones and who were the really difference makers and started to dive more into sports. I entered the tennis world. I started to represent tennis players, travel the tour with them, played some university tennis myself. Being the old guy, my body broke, and I guess about 5 years ago, I got on a pickleball court, and I went, "Oh my God, this is incredible." Now I'm still stupid because I play singles, but that being said, I said, oh my God, this is great." And then I did a deeper dive in their database of recreation and how any recreational person, whether you were a 2-0 or a 4-0 or whatever the case, literally you could go to any state, find a tournament, enter, meet new people, compete. And then it hit me. I was traveling across the US. I ended up in a community park, I believe in Arizona. I put my paddle down, I got on a court, and there's a bus driver, there's a midget wrestler, there's a housewife, and we're all together and we're all playing this game. And we all have a mutual love and respect and enjoying each other's company and meeting new friends. And it was like, wow, they never did that in tennis. They never did that in any other
Right.
sport. I've been involved in youth sport forever. So I started to get a little bit more serious and play it competitively. And fast forward, 3 years ago, I was at a tournament in Cincinnati. Um, it was
Okay.
at the tennis center. I'm playing with my partner, a guy named Dave Catman, and I get binged in the face. And we're driving back home, and I'm going, what's going on? There's opportunities in this sport. There's not paddle opportunities because it's
Ah,
been saturated.
right.
There's not ball
Right.
opportunities because I can't believe the markup on that. But I don't understand
Right.
why anybody would get on the court and do something they love and risk the chance of damaging their sight in any way possible. And it's not from
Yeah.
a speed shot or anybody that's trying to pale you. It's mainly from recreational players who are starting out or their deflections. And you have no idea where it's coming from, when it's coming from, if your paddle's going to go forward. So there's nothing more important than your sight. And so
Right.
we developed, and I was fortunate enough that I had a nephew who was a military engineer. He designed helmets for NATO countries and
Okay.
eyewear.
Yeah.
Said, let's do some testing, let's do this properly, and let's provide a product that people can have fun, express themselves, and be safe.
Right. Yeah. And that's huge because I think you mentioned, a minute ago, it's a lot of times it's not the ball you expect. It's not the forward speed up. It's the deflection off the paddle, your partner's paddle, something goofy. It hits you in the bill of the hat, drops down, hits you in the eyeball. And what you've done is something that I think this happens a lot when I talk to people who are, developing products in the market space. You develop something that is so simple that when people see it, they go, "Well, why didn't I do that?" But again, you touched on this briefly about developing it because I'm sure there's a ton of prototypes, there's a ton of failures, things that you go, okay, this works, this doesn't, and then obviously testing those things out and getting the final product, which you and I are both wearing, is a usually a long and arduous road. So walk me through a little bit of that in how it got to market, so to speak.
Well, Catman is the product engineer dealing with my nephew. Very detailed and thankfully from my experiences I referenced with Apple, you had a
Mm-hmm.
genius marketer and then you had Steve Wozniak as his partner and said, I need something insanely great. And
Yeah.
and they took a pull down menus. It was actually a star system from Xerox that it started, but how can we improve it? We've come and looked at who designed eyewear really in a unique way. You can identify a bunch, but the passion that really Oakley put into their product and went about it in a different way and a different look of, hey, that seems unique and
Right.
standing out. And then we did significant tests with the military and how the importance of not having lenses is a distinct advantage because of fogging, because of glaring,
Right.
not in terms of outdoors. And quite honestly, what we say to anybody is please wear eye protection. We are not going to be for
Yes.
everybody, but I do believe the sport should be
Yeah.
mandated that people need to wear eye protection when they get on the court. Nobody wants to
Right.
lose their eye, and it's like you get behind a car and you
Yeah.
got to put on your seatbelt. Nobody wants to get in an accident.
Right.
Accidents happen. So we went through
Right.
that for about 2 years, and then finally we found the product
Yeah.
that we liked. Um, being a seasoned advertising guy historically, it was fabulous because I could take some of the subjectivity out of it of a client and saying, here's a campaign. And then they took it home and said, my wife or kid didn't like it. And I didn't really have to
Yeah.
answer to anybody the way, like you've created your logo and you've created your look. And this is my vision, this is in your pickleball report. And this was,
Yeah.
mine and Catman's vision. And do I think there's going to be other products out there eventually? Of course. We're trying to build a
Sure.
unique brand, a unique lifestyle, a unique sense. Um, we've learned from our testing and our experiences to date, and really where it's caught on, that we need a size for smaller faces. So we're working on
Mhm.
a smaller size, a sleek size, and especially a foundation of we're working on a kids product. I think it's very
Yeah.
important that, especially when they're starting out, that right from the get-go, uh, the youth that loves this game and has continued to catch on is wearing eye protection.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point because if we can get the kids to actually start right, like you just said, in the beginning, and this just becomes like wearing a helmet in football. This is just what you do, and I think we'll look back, sort of like we do at old, hockey NHL film, and you see these guys skating around without these helmets, and you're like, how is that even possible?
Correct.
With the
And
puck flying around like it did.
I represent goalies, and one of the goalies, the father played in the Olympics in '56, and he didn't have a
Yeah,
mask.
no face mask.
Yeah.
No, that's unbelievable. And I think that's where we're going to look back and sort of see that. And when I saw these, I had thought immediately because I play with a few guys who are old school racquetball guys.
Right.
And my biggest issue was I cannot find a lens, at least for my indoor game, that is not just reflecting all over the place. And when I put these on, I was like, oh, finally, somebody kind of went back and looked at what some other sports were doing. Now, I was told by a guy who played racquetball that inevitably these didn't work great. They had to redesign them because the ball compresses more in racquetball. But the design you have, and you've obviously the little commercial ad we played in the beginning here, where you're taking balls in the face constantly,
Right.
really shows that it's something very simple and yet it's very effective.
Right, and we've done a ton of impact testing, and we're making sure, and lots of instructions, a video on a pamphlet that comes with our product, of
Right.
you are customizing your fit, much like when you had your golf clubs or your baseball hat or your helmet, you're putting in
Yeah.
different compression or different patterns to build to your face. The level of industrial strength that we use can customize and will hold its place. And some
Right.
faces it's not going to fit on. Like
Yeah.
it is not for everybody. And then we through Share Bear and that, in terms of, he fell in love with the product, a little still old school of I'm not sure how much I'm going to wear it, but had a lot of people at his
Yeah.
underground training, and along came this kid who wanted to get better, and he put them on, and he said, you know what? Not only am I smart enough to be safe out there, one, it gives me a pretty irreverent look, but I find that it's
Absolutely.
providing me from a pro perspective that I'm more focused. And he goes, it's almost, I'm cautious of losing using the word, but the way they articulate it is it's sniper like. And
Yeah.
it zones me in, that I can focus more and be fearless of getting hit in the face. And
Right.
the young man just keeps getting better and better. His name's Zane Ford. He plays,
Right.
he plays singles. Had some very big wins in the last couple months, and
Right.
plays with enough confidence to wear and look different on the court. And
Yeah.
is
He is a fearless player.
yeah, and is being focused to be able to make that difference. We've got a couple other announcements that we're working on, some team development that we're preparing as well.
Right.
Exciting that we're just launching on the QVC network. That's a very exciting initiative for us, and
Absolutely.
and most importantly, having fun and getting out the message of staying safe in the kitchen. And thank you for changing the face of pickleball.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, I think, key because, like you've mentioned several times, your vision in this game and your vision in your life, more importantly, are precious. And to have something happen that is just, an accident and nothing. Obviously, people aren't trying to hurt each other, but at the same time, just walking out there just for a warm up can be dangerous because these paddles are hot. The ball is hard plastic. And again, you cannot control necessarily what your partner is doing or the deflection of where the ball is going. These things come with a great little case. They've got some padding to adjust if you don't like the way it sits on your face currently. Talk about some of the colors you have out. You have a black pair on. I have a white pair on. What else is available?
So basically, we have pink and blue. We're working on developing a U.S. flag version that we're excited
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
And really, we've launched in the last couple of weeks clear because our customers have responded and saying that certain people find a little bit of a distortion with the color that they can't get
Right.
used to. And could you come up and create a clear product? So we now have a clear product as well, coming from the hockey world. Um, it's personal your experience because at the end of the day, when you're looking at guys wearing football helmets and you're looking at hockey players and kids wearing cages, eventually your depth perception becomes acclimatized to the surroundings around you. And
Right.
and one of the things that we are so proud of, we created a true pickleball eye safety product. Not
Okay.
no disrespect to anybody out there, but not saying sunglasses and saying they're now for pickleball.
Right.
And that's why
Exactly.
part of the design and the engineering, you see the inverse in the bottom. We call that proprietary and we patent it as speed bumps because when you
Okay.
speed up, the reason why it's not getting through to you is because we've created these speed bumps and tied it in that way. So
Right.
that's sort of our reverse bend specifically and designed for pickleball. That's what these are for.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's great. And more importantly, it looks cool. I love it.
especially
So before
especially
we
for
let
us seniors.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we look hip now. So before we let you go, Vance, talk a little bit about that video I played in the beginning. I mean, you seem to have so much fun with your videos and your promotional. You're walking around. You've probably taken 14 million pickleballs to the face. So talk a little bit about that video walking around town and what that's all about.
Well, it's funny. People might remember in terms of the Remington business and Victor Kayam, and Victor Kayam was so happy he loved the shave and he bought the company. What I wanted to make
Yep.
sure, what I may want to make sure, because when you're in marketing, you're in storytelling, and in the storytelling, you better make sure that you could factually deliver on what your premise is. Otherwise, if you don't have a great product, it doesn't matter the storytelling. You're going to be eventually exposed. And I wanted to make sure that the product was tested personally. I've got a lot of fat lips. I've got a lot of cut noses, and and have some fun with it. And really, people have played back too that they forgot because they're so light. They've kept them on and they've walked through malls or kept them on in their car, et cetera, et cetera. And I really wanted to say,
Yeah.
hey, these are fun and have some fun with it and make sure one, most importantly, they work. And so I'm going around having fun with my grandkids, having fun walking through streets. And when we were in Montreal, saw that Leonard Cohen portrait, which was, what a wonderful poet, what a wonderful artist.
Yeah.
And why not put a paddle on him and let him smack Blocker Face in the face, which is my pseudonym, and go around and have some balls fall on my face in Montreal. And we'll continue to do that throughout. And really, we're talking about a game, we're talking about a sport, and we're talking about an irreverence that everybody who puts on a paddle, grabs a paddle, has a fun. You and what you're about, you're having fun. You're having fun doing what you're doing. Let's have fun and let's stay safe in the kitchen. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Vance, thanks. Kitchen blockers, obviously, link in the description, discounts there as well. Different colors coming out, some great ones already, and doing what I consider the good work of the game, and that's keeping us safe. I appreciate your time, sir.
Hey man, thank you so much. You be well and keep making the difference you are. And loved your voiceover. Anybody who hasn't seen that documentary, check it
Thank
out.
you.
It's really, really a special piece of film.
Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed our conversation with Bamps. Get yourself some blockers. I love them. Super cool. Lots of colors out there. All right, folks, you know what to do at the end of the day. Let's pickle.